welcome to the Team Real World radio show on 107.3 FM.
WBRP.
My name is Maurice Velasquez.
I'm John Shirk.
And we are Team Real World. This show is where we discuss all things business, management, leadership, and team dynamics. Our slogan is simple: real problems, real solutions,
And really fun.
really fun. Usually, I'm the non-shy guy. Our website is www.teamrealworld.com, and our phone number is 225-772-4357. It is great to be here with everybody.
Yes, it is.
You can find us on Facebook. Simply type in Team Real World and get a lot of great stuff and information. Today we're going to have a great show.
Yes.
I'm really excited about it. This is the one area that if I tell you right now, if we tell you right now the title of the show, I'm going to take a guess. Half of you are going to go, oh, no.
I hate those people.
Oh, yeah. And then probably 25% would change station. So we're not going to tell you the name of it. We're just going to creep it up on you.
That's right.
No, and there's a reason for that. By the way, great leading song.
Yes.
Yes. Great leading song. All right. Think of yourself whenever you have an idea that you want to have others accept it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody at Thanksgiving dinner was sitting around talking about what they were thinking about the Saints and whether they could beat Seattle.
And then you decided to say, you know what, my thoughts are such and such. Okay? There's a great book out there called Why Don't You Want What I Want?
Oh, yeah.
It's a great book. It's a really cool book. I highly recommend it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those where I finish reading, I go, I wish I'd have written that.
Why didn't I write this book that they wrote?
That's right. So it's a great question. Why don't you want what do I think of how many times you're wanting to relay an idea to somebody, okay? Or you're wanting to kind of propose something,
persuade.
Right? Persuade others, And, man, you just can't get them to go along.
You just
with
see a furrowed brow and folded arms and a slow shaking
I'm
of the
trying
head.
to get you to say yes, and you keep saying no, or worse, you're just staring at me.
Why is that hole in your face still moving?
That's right. Or, I can't even get it out, and you're already shooting it down. Again, that's why it's a great question. Why don't you want what I want?
Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to talk about is the whole idea of persuading others about what it is that you are selling to them.
In the marketplace.
That's right. So now remember, the reason I said that I'm afraid some of you are going to turn it off is because if we had said that today's topic was going to be sales, then again, I'm afraid half of you already turned off.
That's right.
Okay.
Come back.
Yeah, that is one of the major problems in this.
It really is.
That whenever
the
whole reputation of the skills that you can learn by simply thinking of it in a different way, oftentimes are undermined because, I'm not in sales.
Yes.
I hate sales.
I hate those guys.
I hate those guys. I don't want to be in sales. So what happens is that the skills that a good salesperson uses are the same skills that you as an individual in a corporate environment or in a business environment need to adapt for the most part if you're trying to sell ideas. At the end of the day, you're selling yourself.
There's only two ways to get things done in an organization. One is to have the formal authority, and the other is to sell your idea.
That's right.
Unless you're the king of your company, which almost none of the people listening are,
right, you
had better learn how to persuade.
That's right. That's right. So, you know how we like to make reference to movies. At least I do. Great movie called. Oh man, I just went blank. Father and son. They're talking about sales. Oh man, it'll come to me. Avalon. There it is. There you go. Thanks. My producers were yelling at it. Thanks, guys. Lifesavers. All right. The movie's Avalon, where a father's talking to his son about sales, and he tells him, son, it's got nothing to do with the product. Okay? It's got nothing to do with the price. It's got everything to do with you.
Interesting.
You're selling yourself. It's got nothing to do with your idea. It's got nothing to do with what it is you're trying to propose. Hey, honey, I'm thinking we ought to paint the house. That's it. are you proposing it in a way that you're making it easily sellable?
Mm-hmm.
And so the things that we're going to cover in today's topic, today's show, is a bunch of tools and help me out.
Tools and tricks.
Tools and tricks. My mouth doesn't move as fast as my brain. Tools and tricks on how to do this, whether it's a product or whether it's an idea. Now, of course, not all the tools are going to apply, because it is the difference between selling a product, selling an idea, and being in sales for being.
Sure.
But just don't just tune off because you're not in sales. Okay,
Sure.
so let's go. Let's get started. All right, you guys have heard us many times talk about the whole DISC personality profile.
Yep.
Okay. Keep this in mind. In order to sell really well, sell an idea really well, you have to keep in mind who your audience is. Okay? You have to think of the personalities. If whatever they are, DISCs, or if it's a combination. All right?
Yep.
You have to keep in mind and adapt your approach, your personality, your presentation, your PowerPoint to the personality that you are going to talk to.
Right. Yeah, just to remind everybody again, with D, I, S, and C, D are the people who want to move fast and move right now.
That's right.
I are the people who love team and woo-hoo and are happy a lot of the time. S's are the people who are steady. They like processes.
Correct.
They like to keep one pace going. And C's are the detail people who like everything in order and want lots of data.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and apply it. If you have an idea that the people or the person you're going to talk to are more D-oriented, then don't come in with a lot of data. And don't come in with a whole lot of stories, and don't come in trying to put a lot of beating around the bush.
Right.
Okay. The more you beat around the bush with a high D person or group, you've lost them. If you don't get to the point really fast within the first few minutes, depending on how much time you actually have, then you're going to lose them. So get to the point faster. If you're asking for $20,000, okay, then say, look, I'm here to talk to you about possibilities of getting $20,000 for my budget for such and such.
Yep.
Or I'm here to talk to you about, the other day I called you. You said that it was okay for me to come by and talk to you about your whatever it is you're selling.
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? I'm here to talk about it and say exactly what it is that you're going to talk about.
And I'll tell you, I've been in a number of situations. I'd learned some of these skills in a professional fundraising role where someone that I just thought was a jerk. I mean, they just were not even looking up at me from their desk while I'm trying to talk to them.
Right.
And when I basically just said, here's why I'm here, they looked up at me like, okay, so now we're finally having a meeting.
Exactly, because that's their approach. That's the way they make decisions. So you got to adapt it as much as possible.
Yep.
For the I's, same approach, but cushion it with a lot of friendliness.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of smiles, a lot of hellos. Hey, if you can do it over lunch or dinner, even better. Or breakfast,
Yeah.
absolutely. Add a dose of friendliness to it. So
Yep.
you take the D approach and you soften it up with a lot of friendliness. Be willing to chit-chat a lot longer.
Exactly.
Okay, so instead of getting to business and to the point within 20 seconds or whatever, you got to be willing to chit-chat. I've done many sales in which clients will take me out to dinner, or I'll take them out to dinner, and I'm not kidding, John, 30 minutes later, 40
Yeah.
minutes later, we're
Yeah.
still talking about his life, my life, what we have in common, and neither he nor she, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We don't want to get off it because we're having a really good time. You know what's the longest one?
What?
The longest one, we went to lunch,
What?
okay? 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Oh, my.
2 hours.
Oh, my.
And after 2 hours, he said, well, let's get back to the office. So we went back to the office. On the way back to the office, I'm going, is this ever going to close? I mean, we went to lunch for about 2 hours, man. And we're talking, and I just could not get him out of chit-chat.
Huh.
So I went along, in
Yeah.
one of those chit-chat pauses, I called for the next client, the next meeting, to let him know I was running a little late. All right, went back to the office. He turned D on me like, I mean, I had never seen anybody change personality so fast. He just wanted to get away from the office and talk to me.
Huh.
Got back to the office, went to the boardroom, opened up the binder where he had my proposal, looked at it, read it. I mean, like about 90 seconds of silence, read the whole thing. Said, all right, when are we going to get started? It's like, whoa. That's the best. That's the best 2 hour lunch. So
Yeah.
keep in mind. So for the S's, you do this. Okay, those are the steady folks. Use the I approach. Remember, the I approach, you took the D fast, and you cushioned it with friendliness.
Mm-hmm.
This S approach, what you do is you take the I approach and you calm it down. Keep the friendliness, calm it down.
Yeah.
Okay, just call. Be willing to talk slow, and you got to be willing to have more meetings because they don't like to make decisions fast.
Yes. S's are a little more introverted, and so if you're kind of big and boisterous and moving your hands a lot and using long sentences and high volume in your voice, they kind of clam up.
And when you ask them a question, be willing to pause the necessary time, the 5-10 seconds, and let them answer.
Exactly true.
Right? That's how they feel respected. All right. And then the last one, C, do the same thing as the S's, but talk more about the data.
Yes.
So put your presentations, your PowerPoints, your data, your files. What a great song.
Yes, it is.
I tell you, man, I love that. $1.
That is what I need.
That is what I need. Great song. You're listening to Team Real World, Talk 107.3 FM.
WBRP.
Well, I need dollar, that's what I need. Well, I don't know if I'm walking on solid ground. You never give me your money. You only give me your funny paper. And in the middle of negotiations, you
Welcome back to the Team Real World Radio Show, where we discuss real problems with real solutions, and we make it
Really fun.
all right. Good to have everybody back. Thanks for joining us. Of course, that was the Beatles. Great song. Great song. Do you remember what album that was on? Man, see, I shouldn't do that to you because I know on the
you're
next,
the
on the,
Beatles
yeah, but see, on
aficionado.
the next segment, I know you're gonna hit me, and I'm gonna go, I don't know. So never mind. Forget I asked you that, okay? Because then I know I'll probably lose this one. Abbey Road, by the way.
Oh, Abbey Road. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we're talking about selling. Selling.
That's right.
We do tend to make it much harder than what it is.
True.
All across, whether it's
Definitely
ideas
true.
or products. The previous segment we talked about applies to both all, whether you're in sales or you're not in sales. It's the idea of basically knowing who your audience is and knowing how to present it. If you know that the person you're going to talk to is very detailed, data oriented, don't come in with all hoopla and
Right.
excitement. Come in with more details and words rather than emotions and body language.
Exactly.
So let's move on into another area that's very, very useful and necessary for sales reps to focus on. And this is something that I would almost say fundamental. I mean, right there at, you kind of remove this peg and the whole chair falls.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's got to be their time management. Now, we've done a
Yes.
segment just on time management, but here we're going to apply it to sales.
Right.
It all comes down to, I think, one of your favorite topics, routine.
Oh, yes.
Okay, if you're going to do anything well and keep it have it last, it's got to be part of a routine.
That's right. If you're going to be successful doing anything, but man, is it true of sales, it's going to be because of something you're doing every day.
Right, and there's some things that you have to make sure you're doing. And sales managers, if you're out there hearing, there's something that all sales reps need to be doing all the time, which they hate to do. I mean,
Yes.
look, I'm in sales and I hate to do it, and that's prospecting.
That's right.
Prospecting.
Yes.
Okay, basically working the list, whether they have to create the list or the list that's been given to them. Prospecting the list, qualifying the list.
Yep.
Who am I going to call next week when Monday comes around? And having that prepared way before Monday.
Yes.
Who am I
Yes.
going to call tomorrow is not a question you should be asking yourself tomorrow.
And the reason this is about time management is because you only have so much time to do it. So if you don't have it ready, and this happens with sales representatives all the time, is they take all the time they have to do the prospecting and they use it just to get organized.
Yeah, so don't forget the time management principles we covered in one of our last radio shows.
Yeah.
By the end of Thursday, you should here's a good strategy, a good tactic, okay? We recommend that you make all your appointments for next week and the week after that as much as possible.
Yep.
By the end of this Thursday.
Right.
Okay, on the way over here there was a sign on the interstate. I don't know if you saw it. It said Hump Day.
Ah, yeah.
Okay, because everybody's already in hump day. So
Yeah.
when people start disconnecting, all
Yep.
right, don't try to get meetings a whole lot if you haven't already done so. Okay, if you have to, go for it, but use Wednesday and Thursdays to go and schedule all next week. Get on their calendars.
Yes.
Okay, and so another tactic, another really powerful trick that we've basically learned to use ourselves and with our sales reps and our clients is this. block yourself segments. So, for example, this is just an example because it doesn't apply for every scenario, but an example of how to get organized with a routine. From 8 to 9:30, I'm going to do, let's say, paperwork and do some prospecting, build my list. You know what I'm saying? So just get organized. All right. From 9:30 to 10 o'clock, I'm going to make a bunch of phone calls to perhaps around 10:30, 11 o'clock. At 11, I'm going to go and make visits. And I will be meeting with clients all the way to 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock, I'm going to come back to the office and do all my notes, close out my day, get ready for tomorrow. That is a routine.
Yep.
Okay. The key in being successful is blocking out your routine that way. But let's drill it down a little more.
Yeah.
Remember when we say you're going to leave the office and set up meetings? Okay. Learn to block yourself blocks. So, for example, from 11 to 12:30, I'm going to do a block where I take a client out to lunch.
Yep.
Then my next one is going to be at 2 o'clock, from 2 to 3:30. So that means you can get 2 good solid meetings, perhaps a third one, depending how big your territory is and you have to travel. So you know that you have at least 7 or 8 slots between Monday and Friday, or Thursday, where you basically say, let's say we have 7, or let's just say 7 slots. All right. Your goal should be to fill in those 7 slots and reward yourself when you reach that goal. That means that you're going to be talking to 7 clients face-to-face for an hour to an hour and a half because you're playing the game of filling up the slots.
Now, let's just pause on this for a minute. If you are in sales in particular right now and you heard what we just said, just pause and imagine what Friday feels like, what Saturday feels like, what Sunday feels like, when you know at 8 o'clock on Monday morning, all 7 of your key slots are already filled.
Yes, sales managers. Yeah, here's the questions you need to ask your sales reps. Hey, open up your Outlook for me.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at your schedule of what you have for the rest of this week. And then just watch how they forget to use the mouse.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Outlook, what's that?
Outlook, it's not working. That's good. You're pretty good. You got some meetings. All right.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at your next week. You're going to start seeing a lot of blank spaces. What you want to encourage your sales reps to do is to fill in those slots.
Yep.
And give them a number. When we talked about metrics, give them a number. Look, in your prospecting slots, I want to see you with at least 10 new phone calls during that hour and a half.
Yep.
So by the end of the week, you should have already reached 45 people.
Yep.
During your prep time, you know what I'm saying? You just give him some numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
And during your visits, you have 7 slots. Look, man, I'll give you a certificate or something or some kind of reward or recognition if you fill up 5 of those by the end of Thursday this week. If you fill up 5 of those by the end of Thursday, that's powerful, man. That's
very
powerful. And so get into that type of routine. All right. That is very powerful. For more time management techniques, I would say go listen to our radio show that we have on our website on time management because it all applies to this. It's just that the ones that we're covering today are specifically for sales reps.
Right. Some of those other principles about make sure the most important things happen first, and
that still all applies.
Yeah, all those things still apply here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move to the next area.
Okay.
All right. Now this is probably one of my funnest areas in sales.
Yeah.
All right. It is. It's basically I love this one. All right. Are you going to play by the model of yourself or are you going to play by the model of the buyer? You know what I'm saying? I mean, are you going to try to approach sales from the buyer's approach or your approach? Because let's think about this. All right. You're walking into your favorite store. Let's say the Gap.
Yeah.
Okay. Anywhere in the mall.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to come up to you, of course, that works there. At that moment, you are now the buyer. And that person's the seller. And they ask you, oh, can I help you with anything? And, of course, what do you say?
No, I'm just looking.
Okay. There we go. So you walked in all these places. You had nowhere else to be, and you're just looking.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
Everybody's probably going, so what's the problem with that? Well, the problem with that is that that's not true.
That's right.
Okay, they didn't just walk into my store to just look. All right, 90% of the time it's not the case.
Right.
But the salesperson asked the wrong question. Instead of saying, can I help you with something? No. Who isn't going to tell you that? Who isn't going to say, oh, no, I'm just looking. And then you kind of walk away.
Yeah.
You want to ask a smarter question. A smarter question goes along the lines of, we have specials on this side about here, or we have, want to let you know, thank you very much for visiting our store. I want to let you know we have on this wall, we have some specials offering these jeans. On this, we have jackets. If you see anything like, please let me know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've left it open. You've left it open instead of asking the same questions where the client, where the buyer basically misdirects you.
Right.
So does that make sense? You ever been there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I always get afraid when I get asked that question that, well, first of all, because if you know me at all, I have this 8-second pause when they say, "Can I help you?" Because I'm trying to decide if you're going to lie or if I'm going to lie. No, I'm all right. But then I know if I tell them what I'm maybe curious about, now I'm going to have to go over there with them and have a whole conversation with them about it. I don't want to do that.
Just think about the fact that you do it when you go into stores, right?
Yeah.
If you're listening to me, you do that, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're the buyer, you tend to mislead the seller,
right?
Because you may not be at a point to where you want to say, so you'll say something just to get them out of your face, right? So if you do that with others, other humans will do the same thing with you.
Hello.
Keep that in mind. Now, we're going to finish this segment in just a few seconds here. On the back end, when we come back, we're going to give you the 4 things to watch out for to not fall into some traps with the buyer. And we'll show you how to change it where even the buyer will appreciate it.
Yeah.
So you want to move from using their model to using your model, and they will appreciate it.
That's right.
Love this song. Money, money, money. You are listening to Team Real World on Talk 107.3 WBRP. Welcome back to the Team Real World radio show where we discuss real problems with real solutions and we make it really fun. Our website is www.teamrealworld.com. You always mess me up when you do that. Our phone number is 225-772-4357. And yes, we had to put in an ABBA song. I mean, really, I'm sorry. I think we're doing a lot better in this show.
I think so.
A lot
what do you
more.
think, Trey? Are we doing okay? Are we doing all right?
Yeah,
we're becoming more relevant. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, good. At least half the songs are keeping us relevant.
Right.
Yeah. But now we've got to do something, Trey, about John's dancing in here. I'm sorry. It's like Elaine Bennis did better. Anyway,
hey, my autobiography is going to be titled "Pure Funk," baby.
No, just no.
Isn't that wrong, Trey? That's just wrong.
What'd you say?
Isn't that wrong? That's just wrong.
It's so wrong on so many levels.
I'm in the booth here with him. Anyway, all right, let's go back to what we were talking about.
Yes.
Using either the buyer's model or the seller's model. You know what? Let's not even go them or us. What we're going to talk about here is using an approach that's more, a little more human.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it deals more with the reality of the fact that people don't like to be sold.
Right. There's a certain skepticism and caution that happens as soon as there's clarity that this is a salesperson-prospect relationship.
Right. People don't want to be sold. They want to buy.
Right.
They want to be more in control of it. But what happens is usually our approach makes them very defensive, so they use some tactics to protect themselves. And then we see them make those tactics, those moves, and then we try to get around it, and it gets really uncomfortable, and it kind of messes up the whole thing.
Say you used a phrase there, Maurice.
Yeah.
I want to go back to it. And
Yeah.
Say a little bit more. You said they don't want to be sold.
Yeah, they don't want to be sold.
They want to buy.
They want to buy.
What does that mean?
Well, that means that there's a certain approach in which it just feels like you're trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like to feel that way. Nobody likes to feel that way.
Yeah.
But what people like to do is they like to find products, solutions, and assistance of things that will help make their life or work better, and they want to buy that.
Right.
So it needs to be a flow of comfort from the point of pain that they might have to solving that pain.
Yeah.
Okay. But the other approach, the one that tries to sell, doesn't pay a whole lot of attention to the pain. It just tries to sell features and benefits. Okay, so that's what you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
So
Here's why you should pay me for this.
Exactly.
This
so
is why
it's,
this is awesome. For
Sales reps on a regular basis. They call somebody on the. Let's say I'm selling. I don't know. What do you want to be selling? What training? Let's use training because we
okay,
use training.
sure, yeah.
Hi, I'm calling you. My name is Maurice Velasquez. I'm calling you from Team Your World. I wanted to see if I could come by and talk to you about Team Your World and show you our feature, our training program, our calendar, and see if we could help you out with your training budget for this year.
Mm-hmm.
That is an example of selling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because I have not said one thing other than what I want to do with my product, putting it in front of you and going, ooh, Pony Show.
Yeah.
Features and benefits.
Yep.
Ooh, Pony Show.
Yeah.
It works. I mean, that's the way that, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, that was the common approach.
Right.
Now, thankfully, we should be moving away from that.
Well, we've really evolved a buying public that smells this from a mile away and becomes immediately defensive.
Yes. So what's the better approach? The better approach is a lot more human. The one that says, "Hi, my name is Maurice Velasquez. I'm with Team Your World. I let you know that I'm with a local corporate training company, and I wanted to see if I could come talk to you about the needs that you may have in the areas of leadership management or team dynamics, and see if I may be able to be of help. But I first need to hear your needs and talk about what you're looking for in this, if you're looking for anything at this point." See, I am now talking about your pain.
Right.
I'm talking about I'm aware that you may have needs, and I may be here, and I just want to know your needs to see if I may be a fit. That's a little bit doing of a walkaway. We'll talk about a walkaway later.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's a lot more human, a lot more reasonable.
Absolutely.
And so the reason why you want to do that is that there's a philosophy behind this. Is you have to assume that the person, the buyer, is doing 4 things every time that they smell that the other person's the sales rep.
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as they feel like selling is happening right now.
And you're not going to be able to avoid it. That's
it's
why
human nature.
Yeah. I mean, that's why when I call somebody and I'm telling them, hi, yes, I am in sales, but I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to talk about your needs. Anyway, so they immediately go into a 4-step mode. Number 1, they overprotect themselves.
Yeah.
They will mislead. They will tell you every reason that, no, I don't have any training needs. Mm-hmm. No, I don't need a blank, 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 blank. But they do.
Yeah.
And they know they do. It's the same thing as, hi, can I help you something here at the Gap? Nope, I'm just looking. It's that. They're protecting themselves.
Right.
Okay. Number 2, okay, they will, if you can break through the first one, they'll say, well, yeah, send me some information, and you don't think they're going to take it and shop it around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're going to take your stuff. Why? Because I always take everybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
You do it when you're a buyer.
Yeah.
Right? Well, why not?
You're telling me you don't price how much the jeans are at the
Of
Gap,
course.
and then you go over to Banana Republic and say, can I get them better over
Right.
there?
And what's interesting, who usually gets the deal? The person who has the best relationship with the buyer,
Yeah.
who they feel they can trust more. And usually it's almost because that salesperson got him at some point to talk about what they needed.
Right.
Okay, so if you're going to know you're going to have to get there, well, then get there sooner.
Yeah.
Don't push features and benefits. Push for a discussion, a sit down to talk about needs.
So in a sense, you listen the sale. In a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
ways,
see, that's a good point, because there's a lot of misconception that the talkers out there are the best ones for sales. No, the listeners are.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember, the first thing the buyer is going to do, they're going to overprotect, they're going to mislead, they're going to take your information and shop it. Okay, then they're going to hide and say, "Look, get back with me next week," and then you can't find them.
Yeah.
And then it's like, really, what happened to them? They don't show up at your meetings, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
They really hide, and you
They
have
don't
to go
return
on
your phone calls.
Yeah.
Don't return your emails.
Yeah, so if any of this is happening to you, you're doing it wrong. Okay? You're doing it wrong. We do keep track of our sales, John and I do, and we rarely have to chase. We really, because of the way we try to establish some confidence and trust on the front end with being able to just simply move away from selling, as opposed to, can we talk about what needs you may have,
Right.
and build the fact that we're going to listen to you. We're not in a rush.
Yep.
I need your business, but I don't need your business.
Right.
And I don't need
Exactly.
your business right now today. We're not that desperate.
Isn't there
You've got to come
something-
across like you're there for them because you are.
Isn't there something about somebody who is doing that features and benefits speech that just looks desperate?
I know. Well, it does. It does.
You've got to buy.
Yeah, and the funny thing is when they're hiding and you finally find them and they finally answer the phone, you go, woohoo, yeah, I got him, right? And you ask them, so, did you look at my proposal? And they go right back to misleading you again and say, well, let me take a look at it. Call me Monday. And then you're stuck on that cycle. If you get stuck on that cycle with any client, you're doing it wrong.
Yep.
Because what you're going to do is you're going to move into features and benefits.
Yep.
And then going to throw you objections. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to try to answer objections.
Yep.
Okay? And then you're going to try to go for a close.
Yep.
Then they're going to say no. They're going to features and benefits and objections, feature close, and you're back and stuck. That's
Yeah.
not the way to do it.
Yep.
You got to focus on their pains, their needs. And when you are talking about their pains and needs, focus on asking questions, these 4 or 5 key questions. Ready? Talk about their budget, but not directly at first, but better in their timeline. Listen, if we were to do this, do you have a general idea of when you'd want to see this happen? Well, yeah, I want to see this happen in about 6 months. Okay, so and then work backwards to then ask questions about the budget. Mm-hmm. But budgets are always tied in with time. So talk about what they want to see happen in the implementation. And if you can get them to talk about that, they're trusting you.
Yeah.
Now it's a human talking to a human.
Yep.
And the more they talk about the timeline, it'll be an easier segue to then say, have you opened up a budget for it? Do you guys currently have that? Or are you going to work that into 2 or 3 months before we roll it out? Or how do you guys see that happening? You know what I'm saying? So talk about that. All right. Then the other thing that a lot of sales reps don't ask questions about is how do you guys make decisions about this in your company? In other words, I'm sure you're one of the decision makers. If not, you're going to be very influential in the decision-making process, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so that's the kind of question you would ask so that they can basically tell you, yeah, I'm involved. But you know what else? Here, I'm role-playing with you. I am involved with that, but I need to pass it over to purchasing, and then purchasing needs to sit over and send it to headquarters. And headquarters, it takes about 2 weeks. It'll come back, and then we put the final signature, and then we can get that over to you. I mean, don't you want to know that?
Yes. Well, think about the time you could invest with someone to listen to their problems and really create trust, only
Right.
to find out they aren't the one that makes the decision.
Sales managers, this is why when a sales rep has told you, oh, man, we're going to close it Friday because they are going to, and they give them a yes Friday, that yes is that yes, they're going to start the process.
Yeah.
And that process is still 3 weeks, but the sales rep never asked that. So you're now 3 weeks late to meet your monthly budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the next thing you do is the next steps. You talk about what the next steps for the solution is. Okay. We'll cover that one on the back end of the segment when we come back.
Okay.
Okay. Great song. Great song. Thank you. Our great producers. You
That's
guys make this great. You're listening to Team Real World on 107.3 FM.
WBRP.
But your love don't pay my bills. I need That's what I want. That's what I want.
Welcome back to Team Real World. We are discussing real problems with real solutions, and we make it
Really fun.
really fun. You're trying to throw me off at this time. I am not. I'm closing my eyes. I am not even going to go there. You're listening. Did I say?
Not yet.
I said, oh, see. All right. You're listening to Talk 107.3 FM.
WBRP.
All right. We're having a great time. At least we are.
That's right.
Okay, and thank you guys, every one of you that's still joining us. Thank you for those of you that have just joined. We're talking about sales, and we're giving you hopefully some useful tips and tricks. And we were talking about the last thing that you want to make sure, not the last thing, but one of the other things that you want to make sure that you, whenever you are talking to the client, okay, make sure you talk about their budget. In terms of timeline, remember we talked about that.
Yep.
And then how they make the actual decisions internally.
Yeah. And who.
And how long does that take, and what's needed, and what kind of proposal, and all that stuff, right? And the last one is always talk to your prospect, to your client, about setting up the next steps.
Yes.
Don't just leave there with a vague, well, call me next week, or yeah, we'll just talk next week. No. agree on when the next meeting is, what the proposal is going to look like, go over the details of the proposal, make sure they're going to get it right so that when you put the proposal together, it says exactly what they agreed was going to be on it. It's a lot easier for them to say yes when they see that their fingerprints were all over it and they were part of a conversation instead of you going over there and creating a quote that you're now going to present. It's like a show all over again.
Right.
It doesn't show camaraderie.
A good sales call in that sense will end with summarizing, okay, here's what I'm going to do before we meet again. Here's what you're going to do before we meet again. Here's when we're going to meet again. And then an email that goes out that summarizes all that again.
Because that gives them confidence that if that's the way that you're handling business now, there's a good chance that the company and team behind you is going to handle things like that going forward.
Right.
Okay, so hopefully those are good for you. Okay, and what's often called a discovery meeting when you're talking to prospects about what their needs at. Use those and give us your feedback. Let us hear your war stories. Okay,
absolutely.
Another element that we encourage sales reps to focus on. It's one of these things that's kind of weird that we have to spend so much time. Now we have to also spend a lot of time on this because it easily slips away.
Yep.
And that is master your product.
Yes.
And your pricing.
Yes.
And know how to use it and shape it and tailor it based on the needs so you can speak from those numbers from the top of your head.
We Maurice and I this week.
Oh, yeah,
had
just this week.
Several hours with some new sales reps, and we spent at least an hour and a half just drilling the issue of pricing.
Oh, yeah. And before that meeting, John, you and I, we flashcard each other.
That's right. What is this? We played Jeopardy. Here's a number. Give me what is the question?
I showed him a number, and John said, okay, let's see. This is Jeopardy. What is the price for it? And he got it right. So he got to go to the next level.
That's right.
But we do that all the time. Okay?
Yep.
Whenever we talk about price changes or anything, I said, all right, John, what's the price for this? And I just got to look at it. And if I don't believe it because it's not true in the white of his eyes, then I say, no, you're not believable. Say it again. And we just go back and forth. You practice your product knowledge and your pricing. Yep. Sales managers, give your sales reps scenarios of how they could look at how they can use their pricing and their product to put together packages.
Right.
You guys out there, you guys meaning you guys male, okay, all right, who are just fanatics about football, do you or do you not know the record of your favorite quarterback for the last 20 years of their receptions and percentages?
Oh, yeah.
Of course I do.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Use that same skill to focus on mastering the statistics of your profession.
Yep.
Okay, ladies. Okay, what do you guys? What do you ladies keep up with?
I'll have to say, just because we'll get a phone call or two.
Oh, I know you are.
There'll be some ladies who know a little bit about football too.
Oh, we have one at our
This
office.
is Louisiana.
We do. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, but I was just sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay. But ladies, okay, all right. You ladies know so much about so many things outside of work. Use that same skill, the same things that you find very enjoyable, life and hobbies. Use that skill to master your product line.
Yep.
Okay. If I'm going to go get operated by a doctor, I don't want him to just barely recently be reading up on how to do it.
Yeah. Which is these here? Which is the heart? And which is the appendix? I always forget.
When you talk to your sales rep, they should know that stuff like the back of their hand.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, product knowledge,
Yes.
pricing. All right. Then we go to probably my absolute favorite,
Yeah.
the 20-second elevator speech.
All right.
This is yeah. All right. It's really this is funny. You simply ask sales reps, all right, so tell me 20 seconds about your company.
Uh-huh.
They almost sound like the Charlie Brown peanut.
Wah, 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 wah.
And they go on and on.
Yeah, that's right.
It's very easy. For example, John, all right, let me see. John, tell me 20 seconds about Team Real World.
Oh, okay. No, seriously. 20 seconds about Team Real World.
So bad. You see,
No.
sales managers, that's what happens. Okay.
Here's my 20 seconds about Team
Yeah?
Real World. We help companies who have managers who have never stopped learning to be frontliners to become genuine managers so executives can be executives.
That is pretty good. And you did that on the 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we normally recommend for there to be a standard 20-second elevator speech. But what we really encourage the managers, sales managers, is to encourage their sales reps to take that template, that script, and create about 3 or 4 of their own that they feel very comfortable, and to begin to use those on a regular basis.
Right.
Okay. And it's called a 20-second elevator speech because the idea is if you're on the 3rd, 4th floor, it takes 20 seconds to get down to the lobby.
Right.
Okay. Then you should be able to say it by the time the doors open so as to create the next steps.
Right.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what should be in a 20-second elevator speech. Okay. Go back to the things we talked about earlier.
Yep.
And that is focus on what you do as far as how it fixes the other person's pains or problems.
Right. And I'll say whatever topic, because this is the way conversations work, whatever topic is in your 20-second elevator speech, when you say, here's what I do, and you stop, the normal conversational response is for them to begin talking about that topic.
Right.
So if I say
Right.
something like,
Right.
we help companies who have great people as managers but have never learned to stop being frontliners,
See, there's the pain.
right there.
There's the pain.
If I just at that point say, this is what I do, conversationally,
Exactly.
their next response is going to be something on that topic,
Right.
and we've now begun the conversation about how that affects them.
Don't try to impress them.
Yeah.
Try to create an open conversation.
Yep.
Okay. You can go many different ways with that, but focus on pains.
Yeah.
Okay. The one that John and I have been using recently, and it seems to be very, very effective. Whenever people ask us, what do we do? Says, well, we're in the training world, in the training business, but we don't do training in the traditional way. We found out that lengthy classes with a lot of manuals and a lot of talking really just isn't that effective. So we don't like to waste our clients' money by putting them in that format. So we do things very differently.
And how do you do them differently? Maurice?
There you go. You guys notice that 2-second awkward pause? That's what we internally say. Then just shut up.
That's right.
Just be quiet. Make your statement. Let the words say what they're supposed to say, and let the other person be human.
If I can say it this way, Maurice, a very good 20-second elevator speech ends with an extra 5 seconds of silence.
Exactly. And for those of you talkers, this is your hardest part because for those of us that are talkers, we tend to go up with our voice. And when we finish our sentences, it's obvious that we're either ending the conversation or that we're trying to impress because we have something to say in 5 seconds.
Right.
We have to learn the art of those that are listeners, calm the sentences at the end, and really bring it to a landing and let the other person walk into it in their style, but in their human. Let them use their human
Right. nature
to go, oh, that's interesting. How do you do that? You know, or, oh, that's interesting. Never heard about that. Okay, well, then that's the next point for conversation.
Yep.
But a good 20-second elevator creates a conversation.
That's
It's
right.
not the press, okay? Go ahead.
Those techniques involved, realize that if you can really master that 20-second elevator speech and master the 5 seconds of silence after it, you now know how to begin a conversation about someone's pain.
Right.
Because you set the topic, that silence provokes a response, and their natural response is going to be on the topic of what you just said, and now the ball's
Yeah,
rolling.
and practice your 20 seconds. See, for example, we're about to finish this segment. If I don't have my script right here of how I'm going to close this segment, I'll botch it up because I haven't memorized it yet. So I have to have it until I memorize it. It's only 20 seconds, but I always mess it up. Okay? So you got to practice your 20-second intros, your 20-second finishes.
Yes.
Master your profession. It's all about using words, using human nature, and let things flow at a natural pace. And stop selling.
Yeah.
Better yet, talk about problems that clients have and watch them be human with you.
Right.
People don't like to be sold. They like to buy.
That's right.
All right, so I think I'm going to have to practice here my 20-second walk away. It's not
that's
a
right.
20-second elevator speech. It's a 20-second close.
A close.
A close segment.
Yeah.
Would this be the walk out of the building speech or
This
something
is
like
it.
that?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. There we go. Thank you guys for joining us. Another great time with you. This has been Team Real World. See, I messed it up. I had the script right here and I wasn't using it.
You were so close.
Oh, I know. You've been listening to Talk 107.3 FM.
WBRP.
Thank you for joining us.